Nintendo just sneakily announced a brand new update for Animal Crossing New Horizons version 3.0 and that game's very own Nintendo Switch 2 edition. This came absolutely out of nowhere, so today in this video I want to go over the good and the bad of this update. This update may or may not have caused me to crash out about Animal Crossing at like 10 a.m. in the morning, so I'll have to get my rant off. But more importantly, after I give my initial thoughts on the update, I want to give my thoughts as to why this is happening and why now. It's been a while since we've heard anything about the Animal Crossing franchise, so for Nintendo to come back with not only a Switch 2 edition, but a free new update, in my opinion, it means a lot for not only the future of Animal Crossing, but the future of Switch 2 editions and Nintendo Switch 2 as a whole. Before we get into that though, let's jump into what I think about the update itself, starting off with the good. First good thing is the fact that this Switch 2 edition seems to be pretty minimal. Now, how is that a good thing? Well, let me explain. Switch 2 editions follow one of two patterns. They're either small little updates that mainly focus on graphics and a couple of Switch 2 exclusive features, such as implementation of mouse mode. You can think of like Metroid Prime 4 as an example. This is an upgrade pack worth $10. That is what it seems like Animal Crossing New Horizons is going to be. The other Switch 2 editions are like Jamboree TV or Kirby and the Star-Crossed World, that add all sorts of new actual content into the game, and those are worth $20. This very easily could have been a $20 Switch 2 edition if Nintendo had put the version 3.0 Animal Crossing update as part of just the Switch 2 edition. However, they distinctly separated the two, meaning that Animal Crossing New Horizons Switch 2 edition is pretty minimal. It adds in mouse controls for decorating, and a couple of small features that take advantage of the Switch 2's new hardware, such as increasing player limits for online lobbies, and introducing microphone and camera support. All of the actual new content, such as new things to do in the game, like the new Captain's Hotel, Creative Mode, which is essentially this new Dream Slumberville, and all the new items and whatnot, those are all coming as part of a free update, and in my opinion, this is how Nintendo should be handling Switch 2 editions. Take a look at Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, for example. A lot of the new Jamboree TV side modes are obviously Switch 2 exclusive because they use the camera or they use mouse controls. However, there is stuff in the Jamboree TV Switch 2 edition, like the new Frenzy mode, which allows you to play a normal round of Mario Party Jamboree, but just in 5 turns instead of the minimum 10. That is exclusive to the Switch 2 edition, but it's exclusive for no reason. That could have been a free update to the base game. In fact, I wish it was a free update to the base game, but it looks like that's the kind of mentality they're taking for Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is definitely a good thing. I mean, the stuff that doesn't have to be Switch 2 exclusive, don't lump it into the Switch 2 exclusive upgrade pack. This solution is just more consumer friendly, and I'm a big fan of it. Quick editor's note here, because there isn't really that much in the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Animal Crossing, turns out Nintendo's only making it $5 instead of $10. I'm not really sure why this one is $5, but other updates like, I don't know, the Breath of the Wild updates that's pretty much only graphics is $10. Not entirely sure, but I thought this would be 10 and it's actually only 5, so I just wanted to put that in there. Additionally, one of my biggest requests for all of Animal Crossing New Horizons, like I made a trailer for like a fake update I wanted to see for this game long time ago, and bulk crafting was something I actually included in that trailer. You can see here, boom, bulk crafting is actually a thing now. You can see they're like able to craft multiple of the same item. That is such a nice quality of life change. It's, a little bit late, to be honest. It's coming out close to 6 years after the game released, but hey, it's still coming. That's a good thing. One more thing I think's really cool about this update is the fact that it integrates with Nintendo Switch Online, but not just the online service, more so the virtual console part of that service. For those of you who don't know, in the original Animal Crossing game, you could get an NES and then play NES games on the Animal Crossing game. Animal Crossing for the GameCube basically emulated old NES games and let you play them if you had the right NES item, and that's super cool, and it looks like that's coming back, but now with integration into Nintendo Switch Online, meaning that it just takes you to the same version of those games you can play on like the Nintendo Classics app. That's a good thing. I really like that addition. I'll kind of file it under the same category as like the new Amiibo updates. Like, they're cool. I don't know if this will get me back in playing the game over and over again, but it's something that is definitely good to be included. Now we gotta get into the bad, and get into the reason that I was crashing out in the Switch Top group chat at like 10 a.m. when this trailer came out. As I mentioned earlier, I have made a full trailer, basically going over everything I would like to see updated into this game, and the main thing I talked about was kind of getting a returning feature from Animal Crossing New Leaf, that being Captain's Island, where you can actually go and play mini-games with other friends. Mini-games would be the biggest possible update for Animal Crossing New Horizons. There is already so much to do in this game, from from like a decoration and design standpoint, but in terms of actual multiplayer with friends, you can kind of just walk around your village and you can do like a bug hunt, but that's about it. Any sort of actual mini games would be so cool, which is why when I saw Captain's Hotel, I finally thought this like 5-year-long dream of mine would be realized. Unfortunately, the only major updates and new modes we're getting as part of version 3.0 are still based on just decorating your island or different rooms. For those of you who aren't super big Animal Crossing fans, or maybe New Horizons is your first entry, decoration has always been a pretty major part of the series, but it was never the only part of the series. I guess you could say Happy Home Designer is an only decorative game, but that's not really a mainline Animal Crossing title. The mainline Animal Crossing titles feature a ton of more community-based aspects that were missing in New Horizons as a result of the hardcore focus on decoration. That's fine, but then why has every update for this game just added in more things to decorate? Just in version 3.0 alone, there's the new hotel where you can decorate different hotel rooms. There's this new creative mode where you can fall asleep and basically design your entire dream island without having to worry about paying for different infrastructure or buying different decorative pieces. You get them all as like part of this creative mode, and that's cool, but it's still just decorating things. Not only that, this game got a paid expansion with Happy Home Paradise that is also based on just decorating things. It feels like every single update this game has ever got just gives you more areas and things to do in terms of decorating your island or decorating different rooms. That is not what this game needed at all. You could already decorate your entire island, which was a first for the Animal Crossing series. I don't know why Nintendo isn't just like doubling or tripling. They're like quintupling down on the idea that Animal Crossing New Horizons is the Animal Crossing game where you can design whatever you want. For people who enjoy that aspect of the gameplay, then great, but that's all that is here. So to get a brand new update for this game after, who knows, like 4 or 5 years, and have it still pretty much exclusively be about designing different hotel rooms or new dream islands, in my opinion, we're far past the point of ridiculousness. There's already so much to do in terms of decoration. I mean, come on, Switch 2 camera play minigames would have been the perfect addition. That's my biggest and pretty much only problem with this update. I'm just curious, who's it for? If you're the type of person who loves designing things, then you've already had like 4 or 5 years to design pretty much anything you could want. Of course, there are now new hotel rooms you can design, there's new like things you can use to design, like furniture and whatnot, and there's the creative dream mode. That's all great and fine, and I guess that'll probably bring the people who like designing things back, but what about everyone else who maybe plays Animal Crossing to get a sense of community with their villagers, or connect with other people online and just enjoy spending time together? I think minigames would have been an absolute no-brainer, and especially with the Switch 2 camera, even if they wanted to make them exclusive to the Switch 2 edition. The camera and microphone make this the perfect time to do that, but no, once again, it's just more stuff you can decorate, which again, is fine, I enjoy that. But it's kind of the same thing as the Donkey Kong DLC. Like, in my opinion, I actually loved that DLC, because that game did not need another just layer with bananas to go explore. It already had a bunch of that. It gave us instead a giant roguelike mode that's super replayable, and more importantly, just switches up from what the content of the base game was. With Animal Crossing New Horizons, they're just giving us more of the base game in different formats. The whole base game is about designing your island, designing your house. If you buy the Happy Home Paradise DLC, it's about designing different rooms for people. And now with this free update, it's just the same thing over and over again. You're designing hotel rooms, or you can design your island in creative mode. It blows my mind we're not getting minigames. This is something I've wanted forever. I mean, you could see the trailer I made when I was like, I don't know, I think it was like 17, 18. I was like, come on, man, gotta add minigames, and they never did. Whatever, though. That's my big, like, complaint with this update. It just seems like such a no-brainer that they're missing out on. But now we gotta talk about the significance. What does this update actually mean for Nintendo, Animal Crossing, and the Switch 2 as a whole? First, let's talk about Animal Crossing as a series. Animal Crossing was one of Nintendo's smaller series until Animal Crossing New Leaf on the Nintendo 3DS. That game absolutely blew up, and for good reason. In my opinion, it's still the best Animal Crossing game you can play, and it propelled Animal Crossing to one of Nintendo's best-selling series. New Horizons took the game to new heights, though. Or, well, New Horizons, I don't know, yeah, there's a pun there. Obviously, New Horizons came out right at the precipice of COVID, meaning that this wasn't just another game releasing. This was a cultural moment. New Horizons is an incredibly big reason as to why the Nintendo Switch 1 has gone on to become one of the best-selling consoles of all time. That boost it got during COVID is almost entirely thanks to New Horizons, and because of that, Animal Crossing is now undoubtedly one of Nintendo's biggest series, up there with Mario and Zelda. In fact, New Horizons has sold far more than any Zelda game ever has individually. Now, because this game is getting an update, and a Switch 2 edition, I think it's pretty clear that we're not getting a brand new Animal Crossing game for a decent bit, at least a couple of years. This isn't super surprising. I mean, the Animal Crossing dev team and the Splatoon dev team share a lot of key roles, and we're obviously getting Splatoon Raiders, likely in early to mid 2026. While the next Animal Crossing game is almost certainly in development, again, these games are incredibly popular and sell really well now thanks to New Horizons, I think the fact that not only are we getting this Switch 2 edition, but also Splatoon Raiders, which likely shares a lot of key developers, means that I would not expect a new exclusive Switch 2 Animal Crossing game to release until at least 2027, probably early 2028. As for Nintendo and the Switch 2 though, that makes a lot of sense. Again, Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Switch was that big mid-life cycle boost that really took the Switch to like Nintendo's new cool success story to the video game success story of the last 2 decades or so. Nintendo is likely trying to get the exact same sort of mid-life cycle boost from Animal Crossing Switch 2, meaning that yeah, late 2027 or early 2028, about 3-ish years after the console originally released, that lines up with Animal Crossing New Horizons coming out for the Switch 1, so that would be my biggest guess for when we're getting an actual new Animal Crossing game. As for this New Horizons Switch 2 edition though, it's coming out in January. Now, one would think that they'd want to get this game out before the holidays. However, considering that they're updating New Horizons for free as part of this Switch 2 edition, the version 3.0 is coming out the same day, it wouldn't surprise me if Nintendo spaced it out because they don't want everyone jumping back onto New Horizons when big games such as Metroid Prime 4 and Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment are also releasing right before the holidays. For the people that are excited for this new update to New Horizons, this'll probably take over most of their gaming life. Animal Crossing fans are devoted, especially the type that love to design and decorate. I mean, you're getting so much more stuff you can design and decorate. So despite it being kind of weird to initially think, oh yeah, this is not gonna make it on shelves for the time in the holidays, it does kind of make sense. I think Nintendo also expects the Switch 2 to sell really well during the holidays, and then a bunch of people who get a new Switch 2 be like, oh, whoa, I already have this Animal Crossing game for Switch 1, it's getting an update, I'll pay the $10 or whatever when, come January and then get the update. The last thing I want to talk about is what this means for other Switch 2 editions. Funnily enough, Mac just made a really, really good video talking about are Switch 2 editions worth it, and just kind of the state of these Switch 2 editions as a whole. So in the Nintendo Switch 1 era, Nintendo would fill in a lot of like gaps in their release schedule with simple Wii U ports. These obviously ended up doing incredibly well. I mean, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a Wii U port and it's the highest selling game on the console, but obviously they've kind of ported over the Wii U's entire library, so now they're doing the same thing with these Switch 2 editions. These are obviously not nearly as profitable for Nintendo because they're not being sold for full price. They're like $10 or $20 upgrade packs, and because of that, it seems pretty clear that Nintendo is just like, oh, okay, well, we can put these out whenever. I mean, Pikmin 4 just got a new free update announced just a couple of days ago. That is obviously not coinciding with a Switch 2 edition, but there will eventually be a Nintendo Switch 2 edition for Pikmin 4. It's like all but guaranteed. This new free update for Animal Crossing New Horizons did coincide with a Switch 2 edition. Both of these big game updates, though, did not come in a Nintendo Direct. They were just randomly uploaded to Nintendo's YouTube channel and the Nintendo Today news app. All this to say, Nintendo could be putting these things in Nintendo Directs, but they're purposefully choosing not to. I would not at all be surprised if this is because Nintendo has kind of a new strategy for Directs, that being they want to show off games or paid updates, and smaller free updates like the Pikmin 4 one or this Animal Crossing one can kind of just be put up whenever. Obviously, this Animal Crossing update coincides with a Switch 2 edition, but pretty much all of the cool new features are part of the free update that both Switch 1 and Switch 2 users can get. The Switch 2 edition stuff is kind of just what you would expect. There's camera play, updated graphics, like one new item that takes advantage of the microphone and mouse controls. That's it. To me, this is proof that for any sort of Nintendo game that's already been released, if they want to push out a free update for that game, they do not need to wait for a Direct to do it. In fact, they're more than happy to just put it out randomly on YouTube at like 9 a.m. on Thursday morning. I mean, Animal Crossing New Horizons is literally the second biggest game on the Nintendo Switch 1, and they just randomly pushed out the first free update for it in like, I don't know, like 3-4 years as its own YouTube video, not in a Direct or anything. That makes me look towards other Nintendo games and see, oh, okay, could we get a free update for that coming soon? The main one that comes to mind is Mario Kart World. In fact, I just posted a video all about what I would want to see as a version 2.0 update for that game. Just like the Animal Crossing concept trailer I talked about here where I like 3D modeled like Cap'n and stuff, I worked pretty hard on making like a concept trailer that plays at the start of that video, and then the back half is me explaining why I think these things should come and whether or not I think we'll actually get those updates. If you're a Mario Kart fan and want to check out my thoughts on what a potential version 2.0 update could be, especially now that it's clear Nintendo can just drop these things at any time, click the video on screen right now. If you enjoyed this this one, it also would help if you hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.